Good. Let's go through the feedback. So you have written down the addressees details one by one. That's good. I'm happy with that. That's all good.
So I put 79 comma, then
No.
the
Here you don't
address.
need to. No. It is only for the,
Yeah.
city and the state. Okay, not for the streets. Okay, you don't need to mention, a comma here. You should have removed it. It's not needed here. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's go to the next one. 15 July 2017. Yeah, that's good. And then, dear Miss Roberts, that's the surname of the address, isn't it? That's good. I don't know who this Azer is.
So I am trying to connect with my laptop also,
Oh,
so that
okay.
I
All right. Yeah.
can.
No worries. All good. Yeah, that's fine. All right. So you have mentioned the addresses, contact details here, which is good. I'm happy with that. But you should have removed this comma from here. Okay. Apart from that, it's all good. And it's 15 July 2017. I hope this is the date of writing. The letter. And then you have written down, dear Miss Roberts, and then there is a comma. That's good. So you have used the surname of the addressee. That's good. And then reference details of the patient. That's good. I'm happy with that. All right. Let's go to the next one. I'm writing to request home care services for Mrs. Thompson, who has been recuperating from a rights total replacement surgery, and is being prepared for discharge today. Perfect. Yeah, this one sounds good. This one sounds really good. So this one doesn't have any grammatical mistakes, and it has included all four assessment conditions of the introduction paragraph. So I'm very happy for you. This one is really, really good. I mean, you can get easily, 370, just for the introduction paragraph, I'm saying 370, 380 easily. Okay. All right, let's go to the next one. So you have used Mrs. Thompson is a widow, lives alone and has two children. That's wrong. Okay, Mrs. Thompson is a widow, lives alone. Okay, as I already mentioned, it's better to use the main idea phrase in the beginning itself. For example, you can use socially and then Mrs. Thompson is a widow, and instead of comma, this is an incorrect thing. Okay, you have to remove this comma and then you have to place who lives alone.
Okay.
Who lives alone and has two children. Okay, so remove the comma and then use who in between. Okay, who, and then you have to use socially in the beginning. Okay. However, daughter will stay along with. Okay, not daughter alone. You have to say, however, her daughter will stay along with her for 1 month after her discharge. After Mrs. Thompson's discharge. Okay, so you have to use, you don't need to use however. Like, I don't know why you have included it here. It doesn't make sense, right?
Because in that letter she's staying alone, but because of the
Oh, okay. Yep,
hospital
yep.
stay.
Yeah, yeah, that's correct. Yes, yeah, I think yeah, that's okay. Yep. However, daughter will stay along with her for 1 month after her discharge. Okay, after Mrs. Thompson's discharge, and you have to use however her daughter. Okay, you've read however her daughter will stay along with the stay with her. You don't need to use along. It doesn't make sense. However, her daughter will stay with her for 1 month after her discharge. Okay, her daughter along needs to be removed, and then her discharge after Mrs. Thompson's discharge or after her discharge. Okay. Mrs. Thompson got admitted to the hospital with the chronic. Okay. You should
So
have
you will give that correction in the word, or
in the Word document as well. So would you like to receive that? Yeah, I think I can do that. Yes, just a minute.
or I can write in a paper. It's okay.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm happy to write it down here. It's all right. Let's go through this. So the first thing is, as I already mentioned, you shouldn't have placed 79 comma and then you have written down the street, isn't it? So that should be
Yes.
avoided. So in this case, it's 79 comma beachside street. Okay, 79 comma beachside street. In this case, please remove the comma from here. Okay, that's the first thing. Apart from that, it's all right. Okay, so the first one, 79 comma beachside street. You need to remove the comma. That's the first mistake you have committed. And then as far as the next one is concerned, I'm writing to request. The introduction paragraph is perfect. I'm happy with that. So introduction paragraph is exceptional. Okay, well done. And the first supporting paragraph, for the social thing, you should have included, the main idea sentence. Okay, include socially in the beginning of the first supporting paragraph. Okay, that's one thing. And then the other is a widow who lives alone.
Sir, I have one more doubt.
Yes, please.
We are using who. We need
Yep.
to add comma there.
No, you don't need to. No.
No.
So this needs to be removed with the widow who lives alone. Okay, who lives. Okay, all right. And has 2 children. All right, those things are good to go. However, daughter. Okay, however, daughter. However, her daughter. Okay, so you have to use however daughter. You have to add however her daughter. Okay, stay along with. All right, stay with. That's okay. Stay with. After discharge, you can use after Mrs. Thompson's discharge. Okay, that could have been done. So these are some of the minor mistakes.
Pronoun only, no, sir? After her discharge, no?
Yeah, or after her discharge. Yeah, you can use either. Or you can use after her discharge. That's okay. Or after Mrs. Thompson's discharge. Because there are 2 females, right, that we are writing about her daughter and about Mrs. Thompson. So in order to make it clear, you could use Mrs. Thompson's. It's up to you, but it's okay if you mention her daughter, then it's also good enough as well. Okay, let's go to the next one. So here, Mrs. Thompson Okay, don't use this small t. It sounds like small t, right? Can you see this
Yeah,
here?
but yes, yes.
Yeah, but that's not good because it's not what you have thought about. It's about what you have written now. Okay, so Mrs. Thompson. That's not correct. See this one, when I type it, automatically it changes. So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have to use
Actually,
Mrs.
there is capital by I was written like a fast
Okay.
because
Mm-hmm.
within 45 minutes I targeted time.
Mm-hmm.
It
Okay.
was
All right. Mm-hmm. But you have to
but I
proofread.
know
Okay.
that
Once you finish it, you have to spend like 5 minutes for proofreading. At least 5 minutes. Okay.
for
Yeah. You
this
need to write
letter I
good.
didn't
Hmm.
get time.
You didn't get time to proofread it, right? Did you say?
Yeah, 46
Mm.
minutes I did.
It's not good. All right. Got admitted to the hospital with the chronic shoulder pain and decreased activities of daily living. That's good. I'm happy for you. Consequently, she underwent for right knee replacement surgery. Okay, underwent or has undergone doesn't need any preposition after that, which means for needs to be removed. You should
Yeah,
have mentioned what? You should have mentioned just underwent a right knee replacement surgery. Okay,
and
so
some they are telling we should avoid to repeat the diagnosis or the condition in the support coming paragraph. Is that right?
yeah, I mean, yeah, you don't need to repeat the same words. Yes, that's right. Yeah, you can use, uh, you can use maybe the above mentioned symptoms or above mentioned some problems or something like that. Similar problems and things like that. So you can use those kinds of words. So underwent far is wrong. Underwent whatever the the knee replacement surgery, whatever you have written on is perfect. Okay. All right, let's go to the next one. So consequently, she underwent a right knee replacement surgery following a conservative, less effective conservative management. Why did you use like less effective conservative management? There are two adjectives together. Did they mention the same thing in the case notes as well?
Yeah,
Okay.
because she didn't get any good progress with the
Mm,
conservative management, so they
okay.
went for this surgery.
Okay. All
Like
right.
that in the case.
Okay. Her post-operative period was uneventful. Okay, that's good. Her
This is
wound.
good. That sentence.
Yeah, yeah, that's all right.
Surgery following.
Yeah, this one is okay. Yeah, the previous one is all right.
So, or I can write in a different sentence. How I can write?
Yeah, no, it's okay. Okay, let me see. Let me see. Consequently, she underwent right knee replacement surgery. So the progress wasn't good enough after this surgery. Is that what you want to say?
No. She she underwent for some conservative management before the surgery,
Before the
and
surgery.
yeah,
Ah,
nothing worked out for her. So they went for the surgery.
okay, all right. Then you could have mentioned maybe, like in the beginning, less effective, conservative management was performed, which didn't help her, and after which, she has undergone. Um, you can write down, whatever the information that they have got. Okay, so you should have mentioned the conservative management in the beginning, and then you can write down, the surgery maybe later on. I mean, instead of writing the other way around.
Yeah.
Yep, you could have done that. I mean, you could have mentioned that, initially conservative management wasn't helpful to her, and as a result, she underwent a surgery. Okay, do you know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Yes. All right. Okay, let's go through the next one. All right, the next one is her post-operative period was uneventful. Okay, that's all right. Her wound has been managed well and provided with a series of physical therapies. Okay, that's good. And assisted in activities of daily living. No. You have used it like several and here in this sentence. Okay, let's say her post-operative period was uneventful and her wound has been managed very well. Okay, so you could have added, this one, her wound has been managed well. You could have added it in the previous sentence itself. Okay, just a minute. It could have been added to the previous sentence itself. Okay, so let's write this one. Her wound. Okay. This could have been added to the previous sentence itself. Okay, you should have, for example, you should have written on and her wound. Okay, and then you should have started. You should have done this. Okay, this could have been much better because we don't want to use and again and again. Like, you have used so many ands, three times you have used and in the same sentence, which is not good. Okay. And provided with a series of physical therapies. Okay, instead of writing, provided with the, series of physical therapies, you could have used, for example, also a series of physical therapies were provided. Okay, so you should have mentioned like this. And provided with a series of physical therapies. Instead of that, you can say a series of, also you can use, we have to use, because it's a new sentence, right? Also a series of physical therapies were provided. Okay. All right, let's go through the next one.
Yeah, we can start also in the beginning of the sentence in the writing.
Yeah, that's all right. Yes, whatever the services were provided, yes, you can use them in the beginning. It is much better to use the passive voice, okay, instead of writing down the active voice. Okay, so when you say that a series of physical therapies were provided and activities of daily living, okay, and yes, so you have to. Okay, so activities of daily living as well. So you can include it here itself. Okay, I will tell you what we can do. So, and provided also a series of physical therapies and assistance with the daily living activities were provided. And assistance with daily living activities were provided. Okay, so instead of writing and provided with a series of physical therapies and assisted in daily living activities. Instead of that, we can write down like this. Also, a series of physical therapies and assistance with the daily living activities were provided. Do you understand this? I mean, this is how you need to write down the passive voice. Okay, it's always better to write down the passive voice in your letter. In view of the above, it would be greatly appreciated if you could provide home visit services. Instead of writing home visit services again and again, and then there is a spelling mistake here. See this one, Thompson. Instead of writing home visit services again and again, if you could arrange home visit by your team, or if you could arrange a nurse to visit Mrs. Thompson's home. Do you understand?
But in the case note, they are not mentioning to send a nurse to the home.
Okay. Otherwise, you can use maybe. But home visit services are the same thing, isn't it? The services that are given by visiting their home.
Yeah,
That's
I have one more doubt. So
yeah.
can I go
Please.
through the case note?
Yeah. Please. Why not? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want me to scroll down? But the case notes are, flipped around. I think we can't do that here, but we'll do that maybe in the other one. Okay, here we go. 1 moment. Yes, okay, let's go through here. Yes. Where do you want to go? Go ahead. Do you want me to go to the next one? Are you able to see the screen?
Yeah, task, sir.
The writing task. Okay. Yep. Okay. All right. Yes, let's go here. So using this, the information given in the case notes, write a letter of referral. So it's a referral letter to Miss Roberts, a home nurse, informing her of the patient's situations and requesting appropriate care. Oh, that's a home nurse.
Yeah.
Address the letter to Nita Roberts. She is the one. It's the same nurse. In-home nursing service, 79 Beachside Street, Bayview. So she is the home nurse.
Yeah.
So she is going to come. So she is going to come and provide all the services, in order to ensure that the patient receives appropriate care. So it is okay. Yeah, it's good. You don't need to say like home care services or home visit services. You can use, as I already mentioned. Okay, so let's say, so you're writing to the home nurse straight away. Okay, you're not gonna write down someone else, who can arrange the home nurse. Okay, so in that case, what you could have done is, okay, let me go through your sentence first. All right, in view of the above, it would be greatly appreciated if you could provide, instead of writing home visit services, you can use, if you could provide appropriate care by visiting Miss Thompson's home. Okay.
Yeah.
Or you can say, if you could assess Thompson's conditions at her home and provide the appropriate care. So it's the same thing, provide the required care or appropriate care. Instead of writing home visit services again and again, we can use, something similar to that. So provide home visit services can be replaced with, okay, if you could visit Mrs. Thompson's, sorry, if you could visit Mrs. Thompson, maybe at her home, and provide appropriate care. Okay, I mean, you could have written out like this. All right. Okay, let's go through the next sentence. So what is the next sentence? Okay. Then if you have already mentioned the kinds of care already, you don't need to mention, provide home visit services. Do you understand what I mean? These are the services, that she's going to provide, right? Am I correct? Like showering, blah, 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 all these things. Then you don't need to mention like, home visit services. So in that case, you can just mention these things. Okay. For example, you can use like this. Okay. Visit Mrs. Thompson at her home and provide support, and then you can write down in showering. Okay, in showering and blah 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 blah. Okay, that would be more appropriate. Do you understand? Okay, let's go here. So in showering and administration of Kluxane, isn't it? Kluxane as deep vein thrombosis prophylaxis. Why did you mention it as deep vein? Administration of Kluxane far, isn't it? Why did you use as? Hello, are you there?
Yes, sir. Because Clexane is a DVT prophylaxis.
Okay, but that needs to be used, with the far. It's not as cannot be. I mean, Clexane is used for this particular condition. Am I correct or not?
Condition means prophylaxis, because to prevent.
To prevent, right? So administration of Clexane as deep vein thrombosis prophylaxis. But I don't know why you have used as. When you use as, this sentence, it doesn't make sense. So if you say in showering and administration of Clexane to prevent deep vein thrombosis, right? So you could have mentioned, for deep vein thrombosis, or maybe you could have mentioned to prevent, but us cannot be the correct answer here. Okay, it doesn't make sense. All right, so as deep vein thrombosis, okay. What about like the next sentence? So you should have mentioned like to prevent deep vein thrombosis, or you could have used for deep vein thrombosis. So if you need to prevent, that, then it's okay. First one is more appropriate than the second one, okay? But as is wrong. Whenever you use as, it doesn't make sense. It needs to, either you need to have, like for example, you use some medication as the, okay, when you say as the painkiller, for something, okay. Otherwise, you can use it like as she is doing very well, comma, yeah. So the way you have mentioned isn't good. Hair staples to be removed. Okay, no, that's wrong. Hair staples need to be removed in 10 days of surgery. So after surgery, it's going to be 10 days from the date of surgery. Is that correct or not?
Yeah.
Okay. So hair staples to be removed. No, that's not the correct answer. Where is the verb? So you should have mentioned like this: hair staples need to be removed, or you can say hair staples are scheduled to be removed. Okay. Otherwise, you can write like this: staples are scheduled to be removed. And then you can use in 10 days or whatever, like 10 days of surgery. It's not 10 days of surgery, but 10 days after surgery. In 10 days after surgery. Okay. Okay, let's go here. Therefore, you have used therefore a follow-up appointment made with the orthopedic joint replacement outpatient department. Okay. All right. Appointment, you can't, the following appointment made. No, is made. You have to use a follow-up appointment is made. It's not made. Okay.
Yeah. so many corrections, this grammatical mistakes.
Yes. So this follow-up appointment is made to get her staples removed. Is that correct? It's only for the removal of her staples. Am I right or not?
Yes.
Okay.
I will read the case message.
Yeah, I think if that's the case, you could have reduced the words in this particular sentence. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, appointment made, that's wrong. Appointment is made. Okay. But if they have already made the appointment, that's, you don't need to write down so many words in this particular sentence. Okay. You could have shortened them. Okay. For example,
Yes,
if a
actually,
follow-up
I
appointment, we can write like this. Okay. A follow-up appointment is scheduled in 10 days to get her staples removed. That's it. Do you understand?
yeah, that's like that.
Simple.
In the case now,
Yes.
it is written 10 days post-op, then hyphen staples removal, comma, follow-up appointment in orthopedic joint replacement or patient. I think
It's the same thing.
for removing of it. Yeah,
That's
so,
correct. So you should
so
have mentioned a follow-up appointment is also made in 10 days at the orthopedic joint replacement outpatient department for the removal of her staples. Simple. Like instead of writing like so many words, you could have shortened them. Instead of writing 2.5 lines, you could have made it within 2 lines itself. All right. Yeah, and can contact them from Monday to Friday in hospital for any issues. Monday to Friday in hospital, right? You don't need to use like in hospital and can contact them. You can mention like, I don't know why you have mentioned this one, for any issues. Otherwise, you could have mentioned like, can be contacted if there are any issues. Okay, you don't need to mention like in hospital. All right, in hospital could have been removed. Because the department is in the hospital, of course, isn't it? It is obvious. You don't need to mention in hospital.
yeah, I can join with the previous sentence itself. Right?
Yes, yes. Yes. This can
So
be, I
how
mean,
I
this is
can,
so long. This particular sentence is so long. I think you have written down like four lines, okay? It's not that good. She is advised to keep her right arm sling.
so one more.
Yeah, please.
So how I can write the both the sentence in a short and concise form?
So you can write like a follow-up appointment is made in 10 days at the, you need to write down, at the orthopedic joint replacement outpatient department for her removal of staples, for removal of her staples.
Can you write it down there so
Yeah.
that I can?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay, 1 minute. Your follow-up appointment is scheduled in 10 days at the orthopedic the orthopedic replacement is it orthopedic replacement outpatient department. The following appointment is scheduled in 10 days at the orthopedic replacement outpatient department for the removal of her staples. Okay, that can be made like this. Okay, you should have write like this. Okay, so it's very simple, right? A follow-up appointment is scheduled in 10 days at the orthopedic replacement outpatient department for the removal of her staples.
One more thing, they can be contactable by calling hospital.
Yeah, you can write them. You can write them down. Yeah, okay. Okay. Write a minute. For any issues, they can be contacted from Monday to Friday. That's it. Okay, for any issues, for any problems, This is definitely shorter than what you have written down, I believe.
Yeah.
You can be contacted between, or you can use, yes. Sorry, what did you say?
For any issues, that is a new sentence.
Yeah, that's a new sentence. Yes, for any issues, they can be contacted from Monday to Friday or between Monday and Friday. You don't need to use in hospital because it's already there. Because department isn't there, right? That's okay. So she is advised to keep right arm sling for 4 weeks and refrain from lifting. Okay, she's advised to keep and refrain from, okay, she's advised to keep right arm slings and refrain from lifting. Okay, in this case, she is advised to keep, okay, you are actually using the same form, to keep, you have to use the same form here as well for refrain. So it's going to be to refrain and refrain from. So she is advised to keep right arm sling for 4 days and she is advised to refrain from lifting. Do you understand? So refrained is wrong. Okay, so what I would like to tell you is that refrained from lifting. This needs to be refrain from lifting, because this refrain is a kind of statement that you have mentioned in the previous sentence. I'll tell you what it is. Okay, look at this. She's advised to keep right arm sling for 4 days and refrain from lifting, because this is also one of the actions, isn't it? Look at this. It's not like advised. This advice. Okay, there are two advice you're saying. You are asking her to refrain from lifting and you're asking her to keep the right arm sling for 4 days. Is that right or not?
Yes, sir.
There are two advices. Okay, you don't need to write down refrain once again. Okay, I mean, like, you don't need to use the past verb here. You have to use the present verb only. All right, let's go to the next one. Physiotherapy. Okay, physiotherapy. All right, I've got the final sentence you have written on physiotherapy and hydrotherapy. Okay, physiotherapy and hydrotherapy appointments scheduled for 2 times and 1 time per weeks respectively. Okay, see this one, appointments. Okay, appointments, and appointments need to use an auxiliary verb here. Appointments are scheduled. Do you understand what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, because physiotherapy and whatever the schedule, the appointments, they cannot schedule themselves. They need to be scheduled by someone else. Okay, for example, I scheduled the appointments. That's correct, but the appointments are scheduled by me. Okay, because in the passive voice we need an auxiliary verb. Okay, for example, in this case, what you should have done is that appointments scheduled, isn't it? That's what you have mentioned. That's wrong. You should say appointments are scheduled, isn't it?
Yeah.
Appointments, there's a spelling mistake, sorry. Okay, appointments are scheduled. Okay, that's the correct answer. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, instead of writing 1 time, scheduled for 2 times, 2 times and 1 time per week respectively. Okay, why don't you use twice, scheduled for twice and once a week separate respectively? Why can't you use that?
Yeah.
Yep, scheduled twice. You should use appointments are scheduled twice and once a week, respectively. Okay, you don't need to use for in this case. Scheduled 2 times. Okay, so you should have used scheduled for 2 times and 1 time instead of that. I mean, you should reduce the number of words. Okay, don't add unnecessary words. Okay, all right. So you have used for 2 times and 1 time per week respectively. Okay, so instead of that, what you should have done is that scheduled, okay, or scheduled twice and once a week respectively. It's pretty easy, isn't it? Twice and once a week. Instead of writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 words, you write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words. It's good. I mean, try not to, write words unnecessarily, okay? Twice and once a week respectively. That's good. All right, let's go to the next one. Her current medication is Panadin 40 mg if necessary. I don't understand this. Her current medication is Panadin 30/500 mg if necessary. That's okay. But why did you use if necessary? And what is the purpose of mentioning this one?
It is written, there is medication, but if she needed only, she can take like that.
Yeah, so then you should have mentioned it like this, okay? If required, comma, she needs to take, and then you can mention, Panadin 30/500 mg. Or you can use maybe in the passive voice. Let's go through this. You can write like this. Okay, let me write it down. Panadin 30/500 mg. That is prescribed or is advised to be taken when required. Okay, that's okay. But the one you mentioned, like, her current medication, it's not that good, Okay, let's go to the next one. I think we have covered almost all of them. Yes, you need to use, please do not. Otherwise, in this case also, you can write down this sentence. Okay, her current medication is Panadin 30/500 mg, which can be taken if it is necessary. Okay, otherwise you can say which can be taken when required. Do you understand? Can be taken when required, because when you say if necessary, it's not a grammatically correct sentence. Do you know what I mean? It's not a complete sentence, I would say. All right, let's go through this. Please do not hesitate to contact me if you have any further questions. Okay, that's all right. Yours sincerely, comma, and then registered nurse. Yours sincerely, the registered nurse. You should use the registered nurse.
We should use the
registered nurse. Yeah, the finally, yeah. Before the occupation, yeah, is like you need to use the registered nurse in the. You both, the address details and the sender's details. Need to always have the in front of them if you write down the designation. Okay. All right, so let's go through the case notes and see whether you have included all the relevant case notes. Okay, but before then, let me assess all the other factors. Okay. So one is overall task fulfillment is all right. Sorry. Overall task fulfillment is all right, but you could have reduced word count by cutting unnecessary words. Okay, you could have replaced them. Okay, grammar is one of the major areas for your improvement. Connectivity could have been improved. Use main idea phrases before you begin every supporting paragraph. Okay, vocabulary could have been better because you have used the same words. Okay, use some synonyms if you can. Okay, you have organized the case notes very well. That's a good thing. And you have expanded all the abbreviations, which is good. Happy for you. You have placed the punctuation marks appropriately. That's good. You have used a range of sentence structures. That is also good. Okay. Now we need to see whether you have included all the case notes or not. Okay, let's go through this using the other email. Yeah, it's here. All right. You're a registered nurse preparing just discharge. Okay, that's all right. Right, total shoulder replacement. Okay, did you write shoulder replacement in the introduction paragraph?
Yeah, right. Shoulder.
Shoulder only. Okay. Total replacement. Right, total replacement, isn't it? Total and shoulder, are they the same thing or different?
I should include shoulder as well.
You didn't do that, right? That's not good. Yeah, you need to mention like whether it is shoulder, hip, or knee, or whatever the the part of the surgery, isn't it? That should have been mentioned. She is to be discharged home today with assistance from in-home nursing service. That's okay. You have included the addresses. Sorry, this 73 White Road, Bayview. Okay. What about the addresses, contact details? Is she going to be? No, it's 17 in Beachside, Bayview. Okay, good. That's a different thing. So then you have to include the social and the family background. Okay. You don't need to include large garden and things like that. It's not needed. Cleaning services on site. But you didn't include anything here, did you?
No, this I didn't mention. Utilizes cleaning services once a month. That
I don't think so. No, this one is not needed. But what about this one with a large garden? So did you mention this one single-story home, or because after the shoulder operation, okay, they need to move around, isn't it? Yeah, I think you need to mention this. Lives in single-story home. A large garden is not needed. Widow, that's okay. Married with the 2 children, lives in Stillwater. They live in a different suburb. One daughter lives in Bayview. Okay, daughter will stay in Manthia. That's okay. This is all right. Okay.
Is this address under the real one? Real addresses? You can know.
No. This is not the real address. No, they don't provide real address. They'll just mention like this. That's it. They don't use. If you go there, you can't see. Mrs. Thompson over there. You can't
No,
see.
no, I'm asking about the places. White Road, Bayview. Like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. These addresses, yes, these addresses are real. But you can't see these people, okay? But they randomly choose the addresses. Do you know what I mean? They randomly chooses the address, and they randomly choose the address and just. All right, let's go to the next one. Right to humerus fracture 1997, and then osteoarthritis or shoulder which has not responded to conservative treatment. Okay, that was the previous thing. Okay, right. And you have included it. That's good. Chronic or shoulder pain, decreased movement and ability to carry out activities of daily living. So you have included this one already, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, and then current medications, alter and cease to 14 days pre-operatively. That's not needed. It's finished, right? It's okay. Panadin Fort needs to be done. Okay, 6 hourly. Okay, that's all right. Into 2.
Probably I didn't
You didn't mention that?
Yeah.
Every 6 hourly. But, as required, but every 6 hourly, right? You should have mentioned the frequency over there. Okay. So this is what they have found out, isn't it? Osteoarthritis, right?
Yeah.
But did you mention that following this one diagnosed with this one? But I think you have mentioned it in the first supporting paragraph, isn't it? On admission, sorry, in the second supporting paragraph. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Right total treatment replacement. Okay, post-operative shoulder X-rays, medical progress, confirm position of TSR, post-op exercise regime, complaint with the everything is normal, right? We don't need to mention each of them, right? It's okay, good. Plan for discharge, home with the donors to assist at home, that's okay. Observations, they're all within normal range, that's good. Color, warmth, movement, sensation, oral anesthesia. All right, wound care observations. So everything is all right. Cold compresses. 4 hours per day, ideal assistance is required. That's all right. Physiotherapy management exercises as per TSR protocol. Neck range movement exercises, elbow and hand roam exercises, pendular shoulder exercises. But you didn't include any of this, did you?
I mentioned a series of physical therapies.
Sessions, okay. A series of physiotherapy sessions, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cryo cough, okay. Discharge education. Did you include discharge education there or not? Did you include this or not?
No.
You should have included that, right?
Discharge education means they mention that follow up physiotherapy outpatient appointment and regarding
That's correct.
hydrotherapy.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, these two things, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Our patients discharge education post their right arm sling for 4. Yeah, this is what they mentioned, over there. Like the what the patient is asked to follow. So right arm sling for 4 weeks, strictly no lifting for 4 weeks, and then this one is instead of writing 4 weeks, we can change it to 1 month. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Staples removal follow-up appointment. Yeah, that's okay. That's for the staples removal at this department only. Okay, so that's correct. Orthopedic joint replacement specialist contactable by calling hospital Monday to Friday for any concerns. Okay, yeah, that's all right. Referral to in-home services, assist to the showering, administration of LMHV. Okay, 4 days is TVT. So don't use the same prepositions from the case notes, because usually the prepositions are inappropriately used in the case notes to make you confused. Do you know what I mean? They don't use the appropriate or the accurate case notes over there. They don't. Okay. All right, let's go through the next one. Okay. Yeah, everything else is good. I think you haven't included a few things, but apart from that, everything else all is okay. All right, let me write down this comment here. Still, it's okay. I mean, it's not that bad. Okay, so they are the maybe minor case notes. To me, this one sounds like maybe a 260 out of 500 graded letter.